Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Diving deeper into my cheap fountain pens drawer, today I am going to try and use an, I believe it's called Yiren fountain pen. I don't have a model number for it. It does come as a fountain pen and as a pen. I might have switched them. Look-wise, they look pretty much exactly the same from the outside, so it will be very hard to tell which one is which until you remove the cap. Let's start with this one, pull-push cap, and this one is the rollerball. The clip is actually pretty cool. I like the shape of the cap at the end, no actual finial, but has this nice wood on it. I don't know if it's treated or not, but it looks good with the gunmetal metal bits. One thing that I don't like about this one is that the tip of the refiller comes out a little bit too much. Usually, I like them when they're more like this. They kind of continue with the section, right? This one is all the way up there. It's not gonna be bad for the function of it, but it will work. There is a spring at the end on this barrel, which is very light actually. And I don't know, this one looks almost empty. I wonder if this was actually used and then sent to me. I don't know. But anyway, it should be more than enough for the drawing for today. I'm planning to use both if I can. Let it go squeak in there. Oops. Okay. Which is basically tip heavy, which I like, but once you post it, which it does post, pretty well and secure, it becomes very top heavy. Should be actually pretty cool for drawing, I hope, maybe. This is the rollerball. As for the fountain pen, same design on the outside, same clip. Section, obviously, is designed a little bit different. Comes with a number 5, 22 carats plated. Carats, I like to call it carats. And then regular feed. Interesting number 5 from Yiren, or at least it's branded Yiren. Same kind of a barrel. Comes with a converter. Cheap converter, but hopefully functional. Better balanced. Still a little bit towards the nib, which is actually fine. Post just as good. And still top heavy. So, interesting pens. I don't like them. I like the look of it. I like the shape of it. I like the wood on it. Looks actually pretty good. Would be hard to distinguish them if you have them next to each other, unless you put something on them. I won't. But yeah, I'll try and use both. So I'll try and use this one as well with hopefully carbon-based ink. I don't know what color I have. It would be nice to match it with a color. But I'll go through the inks. I'll figure out what I'm gonna use. And enough talking. Let me get them inked and then we'll go to writing sample and dive into the drawing. So for the ink for today, I decided to go with one of the Octopus inks, specifically the Red Turtle. I was hoping to get some nice contrast between the black of the rollerball ink and this ink. You've seen that it has a lot of foam on when I open the cap. This ink does have some particles inside of it, not like sparkling particles, but I assume whatever gives its color and waterproof rating. Anyway, you do have to basically shake it quite well, and as such you'll have a lot of foam in the bottle, but as soon as you start to actually suck ink inside a pen, the bubbles will go away very fast. Anyway, as I was doing the writing, unfortunately I realized when I got to the rollerball part that it doesn't work very well. So again, I assume that a replacement or that refiller, I actually don't know how to call them. It was used. It started writing okay, but as I was writing, it started to get dry to the point where even when I did the flourishing at the end, and you go usually pretty fast, it completely stopped working. And even when I was trying to do the gradient, it wasn't working at all. So I had to switch my plans for the drawing a little bit. The plan was to actually use the rollerball as the background or as the main pen for the drawing. So this way I can add the color afterwards and fill in the lighter parts with color. But since it wasn't working and I didn't have a refill, or at least I didn't felt like hunting down a pen and borrow it from, since well, that would have not made it the actual original that came with, I just decided to make the fountain pen as my main tool, and then I used the rollerball pen afterwards to actually bring in a little bit of darker shading or shadows, I guess. The pen, the fountain pen in itself, I love it. It worked very well on this page. With this pen, I had no issues with the nib clogging because of the paper. The nib was actually very, very juicy, very wet. Something that probably a lot of you will like that. Yeah, absolutely no complaints. It felt well in hand, well balanced when I was doing the drawing. Even when I did the writing, because it was so wet, it was gliding very well above the Muji paper that I'm using. The reverse wasn't really working very well for the writing, but when I did the drawing, I was able to use it without any issues. So I guess it might be paper dependent and maybe even ink dependent. With this one, for the drawing, reverse worked eventually okay. As for my creature today, again, no real plans. I was trying to just come up with some lines that will go all over the page. So this way I will have a drawing that will fill in the page, but at the same time will also be as balanced as possible. So I came up with some wavy lines at the beginning and then started to block in areas. And this one turned out, as usual, interesting. Huge leaps on this creature. Still kind of a floating creature. Recently, I've been watching or starting to watch again the Stargate SG-1, the original series. And I'm starting to see this a lot as the Goa wolves that were actually getting inside people and controlling them. Who knows? Maybe what I'm drawing, that's what it is. I've been going through some old shows that I used to watch as a kid, mostly because I've been stuck in the house. I had a torn meniscus, I believe it's called, on my right knee, and walking has been a pain to the point where I couldn't really walk. I'm still in recovering and seems to recover well and slowly progress, but I gotta be patient. I don't want to force it and end up under the knife, as they say. I've been stuck in the house for 5 weeks. And even though you think that's kind of cool and you'll be just enjoying and relaxing, I'm kind of an active person. So this for me has been a little bit of torture, to be honest. But yeah, I'm planning to maybe, hopefully in a week or two, get a little bit more mobile and start getting out of the house. I wanted to make sure I don't want to force the leg, so I'd rather suffer now than suffer for more time than that if I have to do operation. As far as I heard from people that were more unfortunate than me, It's a pain that eventually you end up having it for the rest of your life if you go and do the operation, if you don't have another choice. So anyway, with self-pitying aside, the pen, I really enjoy the pen. I think I don't think you can find it everywhere. I've seen it back in the day when I still had an AliExpress account. I seen it, but not in the this metal black or gun metal look and of the pen. It did came with the wood part or the barrel made out of wood, but you only had like chrome or silvery bits for the metal parts of the pen. This one I found it on Amazon from all places, and I believe the pen, the actual rollerball pen, I got it from eBay. And I do believe that for whatever reason the pen was used. I mean, that refiller was way too used. I am going to replace it with something else if I find the proper fitment for this pen. I don't know what type of refiller that is. There were no markings on it. So I'll have to do a little bit of hunting down and see which one will work best for it. But for the drawing, I decided to use it as is. But yeah, I will definitely replace that whenever I decide to use it again for drawing. I did enjoy it as the pen itself and the shape itself. I have no complaints on it. Yiren or however you pronounce the name, did a decent job with it, especially considering the prices that these pens go for. And I do like the nib. The nib is actually pretty decent for what it is. I have no issues with it. I did enjoy the pen. I did enjoy the rollerball as in feeling. Definitely the refill is not a good refill. And the drawing that I got out of it was quite a nice one. I like that. We're almost to the point where basically we're going to flip to the new year. So what I have, maybe 2 more drawings for this year, and that's about it. So next year I do plan to do a little bit of changes to how I'm doing my drawings. Maybe I'll focus mostly on the drawings. I haven't really purchased any new pens, and again, I'm not really a fountain pen reviewer or even art reviewer. I just like to do things and draw things. And I might start to focus more on the drawing aspect of it. I'll still do the short review format that I have when basically I have new pens that I haven't used before, but you'll start seeing me using more and more of the pens that I already been reviewing and going back to it. What I've been doing with my drawings so far is I use the pen for the drawing, and then I use the pen whenever I get a chance to use the entire ink in the pen if I, for whatever reason, I wasn't able to use it for my sketching. So you'll probably start seeing me reusing the same pens over and over until I actually use the entire ink in the pen. I don't like to fill up the pen and then dump the ink back into the water bottle or the ink bottle. That's when you start introducing all kind of weird stuff in the ink, and chances of your ink going bad will increase. So I do always like to use all the ink inside the pen if I can. Anyway, eventually the drawing, I actually like it. I like how it turned out, so I wasn't upset that much that the rollerball wasn't working that well, because I got to use it second last, and probably that was the better approach. Having the color first and then adding the shading on top of the drawing. Anyway, other words, not else, or not sure what else I could say. I'm pretty much at the end in here as well, or close to the end. I loved it. I like the pens. I do like the pens, and I think the rollerball with a better refill in there will be actually pretty good. I hope I can actually find a refill that will fill in that tip of the section a little bit better and it won't stick out as much. Well, at least I'm hoping. In the end, I definitely recommend them if you can find them, especially the fountain pen. At least the copy that I have worked very well, no complaints. With that said, I guess I'll see you next week just before Christmas or the holidays. And yeah, I guess all it's left to say is thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you next time, and I wish you a wonderful day or night, whatever you are. Take care. Bye.